school administrators, our parents, consistently keep our kids and everyone else safe.
There is no downside to wearing a mask. It's an act of compassion. There is zero credible evidence of any health risks to wearing a mask.
So today I stand with the parents and the grandparents and teachers who ask that politics not get in the way of caring for our children.
I have a message for Governor Reynolds. You can change your mind. We all make mistakes. You can still do what's right and allow us to protect our kids and ourselves by lifting the mask ban.
Never underestimate the grit and fortitude of moms that know science, and what a better future for our children. A future in which science directs our decisions, not politics or conspiracy theories. Because us moms won't stop until science wins. Reverse the maskless mandate now so your workforce stays strong and your goal of keeping kids in classrooms becomes reality.
Why does this matter for Iowans? And a virus doesn't care about artificial boundaries, the ones we create within communities, cities, counties, states. And unfortunately, Iowa has a very low vaccination rate and a very high rate of transmission in many pockets throughout our state. In fact, 90 counties out of the 99 qualify as substantial or high transmission where everyone should be wearing a mask. If we continue to allow this to perpetuate, don't use the masks that we know can stop this spread, we will see worse variants than the Delta variant evolve. Variants that can eventually become impervious to the mechanisms we currently use, like the vaccines, like the masks, to fight this pandemic. We're on the verge of seeing something way worse than we've seen during the last 18 months. We have the tools to stop it. If we don't, it's Iowans who will suffer. And I don't want to see that. Thank you.
Iowa is more than just our large communities. When your family member is in the small town hospital waiting for transfer to a tertiary center in Des Moines or Cedar Rapids, they are not going to have a bed to transfer to. They are not going to have access. And this has nothing to do with whether they have COVID or not. It has to do with them having a critical medical condition and there being no beds in the major metropolitan areas to take care of those patients. So this does matter to every community in Iowa, whether you're running rampant with COVID or not.
We have the advantage of less population density, the advantage of geography. But just like what happened later on in the fall, we may squander that opportunity to learn from the mistakes of these other states, protect ourselves while we can.
We use the mask to prevent ourselves from exuding the droplets that carry the virus. So in case we are a carrier, we are infected, we are asymptomatic or sick, we don't mistakenly pass this virus on to somebody else. I wear my mask to protect you. You wear your mask to protect me. And if not everyone in that classroom is wearing their mask, then I am susceptible to whatever they're bringing in, including the teachers who are vaccinated, the staff who are vaccinated. They can still carry this virus and spread it at the same levels as unvaccinated individuals. That is why Delta is so scary and why we need to change the game now compared to what we did a year ago. And then now we're seeing Delta variant really taking over. And each time, our layers of protection are eroded a little bit more. We see that the vaccines aren't quite as effective. They're still really good, but not quite as effective. We're seeing that people who are vaccinated are carrying the virus at the same levels as those unvaccinated. That didn't happen before. So we're seeing that the virus is evolving in front of our eyes. And if we don't put a stop to it, we'll be in a far worse position with a much scarier version than what we have now. 2020 is when I developed my first and only Iowa fear. That of state leadership who doesn't care about its constituents. About state leaders who would rather perpetuate misinformation and make life and death decisions based upon it than listen to the science. About my fear about a governor who not only willingly, but is in fact mandating that we send our kids back into the midst of a pandemic completely unprotected against a preventable disease. I am wanting to tell you this, Governor Reynolds. Children get sick from COVID-19. They are not immune to this virus. And we need to use the science at our fingertips to protect our kids, to protect our communities. And this new variant is far worse than anything we have seen thus far. It is 3 to 4 times more contagious than any prior version of this virus, and it impacts everyone. It doesn't look just for the unhealthy, just for the immunocompromised, just for the older individuals. It looks at everybody, and thus we are seeing cases pop up in all age groups, in all health statuses, and we need to stop it with the science that we have available at our fingertips.
So I ask you, Governor Reynolds, please, as you preach to us every single day, do the right thing. Rescind this ban on masks. Rescind this ban on science and using the tools at our disposal to keep our kids safe. Let us make a decision on how to return to school safely by listening to the science and take away my fear of having a state government who doesn't care about its constituents. Thank you.
If you hadn't put this together, there would be nobody standing up right now in front of the governor's office telling her that she needs to listen. So thank you for all of your efforts.